Hi gorgeous, it's Ker-leen. Thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. Today I have a maceration update of 5 Arabian perfumes. These are some of the newer fragrances to my collection, but I have given them each at least a month, about a month or so. And today I just wanted to talk about how they're performing and how I currently feel about each of them. So if you're interested, please stay tuned. Hey friend, I hope you're doing amazing whenever you're watching this video. Thank you so much for choosing to spend this part of your day over here with me. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on the video. On this channel, I talk luxury, I do review videos, I share my fragrance journey, I sprinkle in a little bit of lifestyle, and there's some encouragement in every single video. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to turn on that notification bell so you know exactly when my videos drop. All right, let's get into it. The first fragrance today is Paris Corner's Khair Felicity. This one was very well received. It was very hyped up when it first came out, and a lot of you still really love this fragrance. As you all know, this is supposed to be a dupe for the Wedding Silk Santal 36 by Khair. I did talk about whether I think this is a good dupe in a video where I talked all about the two fragrances. So if you haven't watched that video, I will link it here. Please go back and watch that video for more of my thoughts on this particular fragrance. The original fragrance is a very bubbly, bright, uplifting fragrance. This one has cassis at the top. It has the champagne, it has the freesia. The florals are there, the musk is there, the vanilla, the sugar is there. So it has pretty much all of the same components as the original. This one is so beautiful. So in the previous video where I talked about Felicity, I did mention that it felt a little bit heavier, a little bit more creamy to me, and it also felt a little less green. Since that video, the greenness has come out in this fragrance a little bit more. It does seem to resemble the original fragrance a little bit more at the top. However, I feel like this one is still more creamy and much more dense than the original, especially as it starts to dry down. I feel like this one is definitely a bit more dense, at least in my experience. This one can be worn in the spring, but I feel like the original one is a bit more springy to my nose, whereas this one feels like something that I could enjoy year-round, but especially in the fall when we start getting more cool weather. I do also think this makes a really nice fragrance to pair with something that's a bit heavier for the winter time as well. So for me, that's the biggest difference. Now, performance-wise, this was already an amazing performer, but now it definitely lingers in the air. It sits in the air and it lasts anywhere between 6 to 8 hours on my clothes, where in the first 3 to 4 hours is projecting to where anyone within arm's length distance can smell it. This is also a compliment getter. I've received tons of compliments on this fragrance every single time I have it on. So those are my thoughts on Khair Felicity by Paris Corner. So the next one I wanted to talk about today is Ansaam Gold by Tampa. I believe I've had this one for about a month, maybe more at this point, and I've done a video talking all about this fragrance, so please go and check that video out. I compare it to 2 other fragrances that it's supposed to be a dupe for, and I share more detailed thoughts in that video. Y'all, this is such a beautiful fragrance. So good. I think this is one of the fragrances that is worth your money because you get such a great value as far as how it smells and how it performs. This is an amazing performer. Projection wise, this one projects at more than an arm's length for the first 2 to 3 hours, I want to say, and then this one lasts all day long. I get about 8 hours on my clothes with this fragrance. It is so good. I love to wear this one when I go to the gym because it's going to last and is going to project, but it's not going to choke anyone out. I do love that about this one. So this one definitely outlasts a sweaty workout session. So that makes it perfect for the spring and summer, especially in my climate, which is very hot and humid. This one is super refreshing when first sprayed out because of those juicy top notes. And then there are some florals to balance out the fruitiness, which makes this one smell very sophisticated. But then it also has sweet notes, which gives it a playful effect. This one has raspberry and vanilla at the base. It's also musky. I feel like musk and fragrances just make them feel a bit more airy, less dense dense, and depending on the other notes, musky fragrances can project very nicely, especially in those first few hours. So for me, this one is a win-win. Projection wise, this one projected amazing right off the bat. So as soon as I received this one, it was projecting, and it's still projecting just beautifully. But I feel like this has become a lot more smooth, so the notes feel a lot better blended at this point. It was never really sharp, but it's so much smoother now that it's been about a month or so. Yeah, I feel like the fruits are blending so beautifully with those florals at the mid. Oh, this one is so pretty. I love this fragrance. It's so good. And in my humble opinion, I think that if you enjoy both of the fragrances this is supposed to be a dupe for, which are the Ker-leen fragrance as well as the Parfum Marley fragrance. By the way, I did compare those fragrances to this one in my previous video, so be sure to watch it. But if you enjoyed those two fragrance scent profiles, but maybe they're not like must-haves for you, right? Maybe you can't see yourself spending that much money on the scent profile. This one is a must-have in my opinion. It's like you get a little bit of both of those scent profiles in one bottle of fragrance with this one. Not to mention the performance is absolutely amazing. This is Lattafa's Ansaam Gold. The next one I wanted to talk about is another Paris Corner fragrance. This is Paris Corner's Mina. When Mina first came out, it came out in a pair, Mina and Mina Coco Lush. I actually picked up both of those fragrances. I did some shorts on them, but I realized I haven't been back to talk about them since. And I have been enjoying them here and there, and it's been well over a month, maybe like 3 months at this point. So I definitely wanted to bring these back out, especially because we're now in spring and summer will be approaching soon. And I think these fragrances are perfect for the season. So let's talk about it. Mina has delicious notes of pistachio, almond, floral notes like jasmine and heliotrope. At the base, there is sandalwood, vanilla, and caramel. A gorgeous, delicious, creamy base. You've probably already guessed that I love this fragrance, and I really do. I really enjoy this scent profile. It is so delicious and just addictive. It's like an addictive scent profile. Y'all, this opening is so good. I get that almond right away. And then for me, the pistachio comes in after the almond. That almond meets my nose first in this fragrance. Oh, it's so good. So good. As I mentioned in my previous short, to my nose, this fragrance is more almond prominent than it is pistachio prominent. This one is very reminiscent of Sol de Janeiro's Gerosa 68, which does have a pistachio note. However, in my opinion, this fragrance is missing that salty, beachy component that's in Sol de Janeiro's Gerosa 68. I feel like this one is a lot smoother, and unlike Gerosa 68, this one is almond forward, not pistachio forward. So Gerosa 68 is a little salty, it's definitely a bit denser, and it's a little bit more pistachio forward, whereas this one feels smoother, and although it's super duper creamy, it's not quite as dense. So I feel like that makes this one a lot more wearable. This one also smells a tad bit more grown up than Gerosa 68 in my humble opinion. I absolutely love a good almond note. When you get a good almond note, it almost makes you think about cherry, and that's kind of what this fragrance hints at the very opening, and then that pistachio comes in afterward. Then this one gets creamy. It's like a silky creaminess. So that's sandalwood, the vanilla, and the caramel at the base are doing what they're supposed to do. The caramel is not super prominent, but together I feel like it makes for an amazing dry down with this particular fragrance. The one drawback with this fragrance is the performance. This one will project for the first 2 hours or so, but I find it hard to smell this one on my clothes after the 4-hour mark. So this one for me right now didn't really improve performance-wise. I had high hopes for it, but it didn't improve for me, which is unusual for Arabian fragrances. They usually get better with time, especially for those that have notes like sandalwood and vanilla at the base. Now this one may perform better on skin, but I don't typically wear my fragrances directly on my skin unless I'm testing the fragrance out. So if you have this one and you've had a different experience performance-wise, let us know in the comment section. This is Mina by Paris Corner. The next one I have here is Mina Coco Lush. Now, Mina Coco Lush is one that I recognized right away. But when I did my short, I said that this was a dupe of another Ariana Grande fragrance, because the fragrance I was actually thinking about, I mixed up the name. This fragrance is an incredible, super duper close dupe for Ariana Grande's thank you next. And I know that because I had the fragrance and I gave it to my daughter, and my daughter smelled this on me and said, Mom, this smells like the fragrance that you gave me that I want you to buy for me again. Thankfully, I don't have to buy this for her again because she has it right here, and that's how close this one is to the original. So you can see by the notes there how close it is to that fragrance. And so if you had that fragrance and you enjoyed it, this one is incredible. It's an insane dupe of that fragrance. However, I feel like this one performs just a little bit better than its counterpart, Mina. This one definitely projects farther at more than an arm's length for the first 3 to 4 hours, and this one gives me about 5 hours or so on my clothes. So this one performs just a bit better than Mina, and it's so much fun for the spring and especially for the summer because it has like those watery, airy, juicy accords and notes. A word of caution: if you've never owned Ariana Grande's Thank You Next, then you probably don't know that a lot of people said they got pickle juice from that fragrance when they smelled it. And if you are one of the ones that felt that way about that fragrance, you may want to opt out of this one because, like I said, it's pretty much the same fragrance in a different bottle. That's how close they got it. So you may pick up that pickle juice in this one too. This one is Mina Coco Lush by Paris Corner. And very quickly, the last one I wanted to update you all on today is Marshmallow Blush, again by Paris Corner. If you can't already tell, I quite enjoy Paris Corner fragrances. So Marshmallow Blush was a sensation when it came out and still is quite the sensation. It is such an amazing fragrance. Again, I talked about this one in a dedicated video, so please go back and watch that video for more of my detailed thoughts and opinions. This one has gorgeous berries and citrus at the top. It has ambroxan at the mid, sweet notes, marshmallow and musk at the base, and it is just such a fun and playful fragrance with incredible performance. This one is doing exactly what I expected it to do performance-wise. It's gotten creamier, it's gotten sweeter, better blended while still remaining fluffy. It is so beautiful, and the performance was there when I first received it, and it's still there. This one projects at more than an arm's length for 3-4 hours, and this one lasts on the clothes for over the 6-hour mark for me. This would probably even give me 8 hours of wear if I really went in with the sprays. So I'm really happy with this one. I think it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, and I love that this one is fluffy because I can still enjoy it in the springtime without it becoming cloying, even in my humid climate. So this one is a complete win for me. I love the way it's macerating. I would highly recommend this one if you love sweet, fluffy, candy-like, marshmallow type fragrances. It's absolute perfection in a bottle. This is Marshmallow Blush by Paris Corner. All right, friend, thank you so much for still being here. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up on your way out because that really helps my channel continue to grow. And if you're here and you love fragrance content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you click off of the video and turn on those notifications so you never miss another video. Yesterday, while at church, the pastor was talking about what submitting to someone or something looks like, and also how consistency plays a role in submitting to someone or something you believe in. And of course, he was talking about submitting to God and how when we submit to God, we're consistent in and out of season. But that made me think about just life in general. When we believe in something, our consistency, our ability to show up when things are good and when things are bad really demonstrates whether we believe in something or not. So if you're working towards something today, whether it be your relationship with God or your career or something education related, I want you to take this with you today. It's easy to be consistent when things are going good, when we're happy, when everything is going our way. But when things aren't going exactly like you planned, that's when our consistency is tested and we get to see whether we're truly committed and submitted to something. So I hope that helped you like it helped me yesterday. And of course, I will be over here doing the exact same thing. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye!